bro. We got to talk about some things, Buff Nation. Let's get it. We got to talk about some things, Buff Nation. Let's go. Here's some things we got to seriously talk about, man. I know some of these other people don't want to talk about it, but let's talk about this because we got some answers that need to be had, man. I'm not even finna hold you. Let me put this phone on. Buffs Nation was happening, man. Yeah, man. We got some things we gotta talk about, man. I'm live, man. We got some things that we gotta talk about. This CL3 thing, we finna talk about this tonight, man. I I'm being truly honest, man. Here's what I this is my true opinion right now. They're saying it's 50-50. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I see CL3 committing to FSU, but signing with Colorado. I know. Just look at the way things are being played. Just think how he's changing everything right now. All of a sudden, right, he wasn't gonna do interviews and all this before the commitment. Now he's changing to doing these interviews. Like something is not aligning, and I'm telling you this right now. There's a reason why people are canceling that was going to the commitment video. There's a reason. Like, let's just be honest. There's a reason. So we're gonna talk about this tonight, family. We're gonna talk about this tonight. I'm telling you right now, Florida State probably met CL3 when he got off that plane, letting them know, hey man, we got that bag. We gonna increase the bag for you. And if you smart, right? If I'm anybody right now, just think about it like this. If just think if a college come offer you money right now, right? You could take that money. That don't mean you gotta sign with them, right? So they could offer him a bag right now. He could turn around and flip on them on National Signing Day. Guess what? Y'all done already paid him. Like let's be real. We know they're gonna we know Florida State's gonna throw the bag at them. They ain't got no choice because they cannot afford to lose another commitment to Coach Prime. Why? If you lose another commitment to Coach Prime, it's a wrap. Yeah, they already and you gotta look at it like this. The biggest thing that hurt Florida State right now is Coach Prime going to the Big 12. Because guess what? He gotta play in Florida. And don't allow the Big 12 to add another Florida team there. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap for Florida because he's gonna own the state. If they I'm gonna tell you like this. If they add South Florida to the Big 12, I'm telling you right now, Coach Prime is already got Central Florida. He's gonna take Central Florida because UCFF. Then you turn around and you got South Florida. Coach Prime gonna own the entire Florida. So what are you gonna do about it? There's nothing you can do about it. So you got to look at it, man. The things and the way the ties are going with CL3, man. Come on. I got some sources, but it's like I'm looking at it from a different point of view, right? Because at the end of the day, it is 50-50. And for you guys that don't know, CL3 didn't come on a secret visit just to come. I'm telling you this true facts. He came to help his boys get scholarships, get offers. If that's what you want, if you got a great friend or a great person that is at a higher stature that can bring his boys with him, why not? He's been playing with these boys for years. So if he had opportunity to be able to get his boys a scholarship, get his boys to Colorado, you don't think it's a win-win? Because guess what? If FSU was smart, they'd already offer his boys, but they didn't. So why they in Colorado? See, Coach Prime thinking outside the box. The coaching staff is thinking outside the box because they know if we add his friends, guess what? He got to come here. He got to. You know? And so it's all playing out to help his boys gain scholarships. You know? And that's what's going to help him because now he's got long-term friends that's on the roster. You know how different it is when you got long-term friends on a roster? It's going to make you feel more comfortable. It's going to make you want to take that leap of fame, you know, and them going to the Big 12 is just adding more sauce onto it because now the conversations are different. Think about it. Conversations are completely different. They're in the Big 12. It's official, you know? It's official. I just want to see 1 year with CL3, Travis Hunter, and Cormani. That's all. I ain't asking for much. That's all. But I'm telling you right now, don't get upset if he chooses Florida State tomorrow. Don't get upset because it's going to come down to signing day. And I'm telling you right now, what better way to hurt Florida State by him signing with Colorado? You know that, like, I'm glad CL3 is not really looking at the internet, because if he was, he wouldn't even go to Florida State. He wouldn't even think about it because they already bashing him for going for going to Colorado, you know? So nothing really matters until you get that signature on that paper. And even when you get that signature on the paper, it still really don't mean nothing until you get to that second, right? You can get all these kids at early signing day and kick ass out of the NIL to go and sign in the second, second part. So you got to think about that, So I look at it as CL3 is eventually going to be a buff, but I say it's going to happen on signing day. He's going to shock the world on signing day. I'm still going to watch the commitment, but I'm just trying to get you guys prepared because this is what it's going. I talked to his cousin and he gave a hint that CL3 might come to Colorado. Listen, at the end all be all, he's going to come to College Prime. But if you're a smart man or a smart woman, right? If somebody going to offer you a bag just to say you committed there, commit there. If it was me back in college right now and I had to go, you gonna give me this bag when I know I really don't want to go there? Cool, I'm gonna take this bag and then on National Signing Day I'm gonna sign there. Guess what? You already paid me because that's how bad you wanted me. And what I would tell anybody is, I'm going over development over the money. But if you're gonna choose to give me the money, and I know I'm not gonna get the development, then that's you being a sucker. Let's get the bag. Let's get the money, right? At the end of the day, I'm gonna go where I know I can get developed and get to that next level. Because at the end of the day, it's about helping to get to that next level, right? Him going to Colorado is gonna be the best thing for him. How can you take the money still? So here's the thing about NIL. When they start offering these bags per se, they're sending money to these families right now to lure them there. That don't mean you got to sign there. So depending on the school and the situation, here I'll give you an example. So the quarterback that's at Arizona State, right? He was committed and he signed to Florida, and they gave him $8 million. Then all of a sudden he came out of there and goes to ASU. That didn't happen for no reason. He knew he didn't want to go to Florida from the get-go, but he had to get the bag and he had to do certain things to get the money to leave. So it happens all the time in this world. It's not against NCAA rules anymore. And so that's a good question, Cheryl. It's not against NCAA rules because of NIL now. So because, to be quite frank, players have been getting paid for years. It's just now it's public. People been getting bags on top of bags on top of bags underneath the table for years. Now it's just public. Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, they've always fought off for players, and that's how they've been able to get players signed early. Because if I'm Nike and I see a top athlete, I'm gonna go ahead and slide his parents $150,000 right now, because I'm gonna get my return on investment when he gets to the league. And that's what you got to think about it. That's why Coach Prime says I'm not worried about NIL, because Coach Prime has so many partners that he can go get you any deal that you want. It's all about what are you trying to do to market yourself to become even more of a millionaire. You look at Travis Hunter, he had a whole foundation plan on Travis Hunter. Looking at Coach Prime, dude, this dude got this thing mapped out to a T. Boom, 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 boom. Before he came to Colorado, he knew they was going to the Big 12. He knew it. He knew they was even the Pac-12. He knew who was going to be in the Big 12. That's how he got to convince all them Florida players. So this ain't new. It's just a lot of information that's being withheld from the public that people don't see. Like, oh man, Colorado's going back to the Big 12. Well, Colorado used to be in the Big 12. They used to be part of the Big 8. And they left because the Big 8 and the Big 12, when they started to fall apart, and they left. So it's all making sense. I just feel like Lester don't believe in Patrick Surtain over Coach Prime and the NFL start. Well, I agree with you. I agree with you, Zion. If you think about it, right, Patrick Surtain was a great corner in the NFL, but Dion was on a different level, right? He shut down a whole side of the field. So when you look at shutting down a whole side of the field, that's just different, you know? And you got more eyes on you. Like if you look at the two brands, right? Look at Florida State's brand, look at CU's brand. Who's got the bigger brand right now? Just wait for it. CU. I don't care what channel you turn on, who you turn on, CU is gonna come up in somebody's chat. Somebody's going to go talk about CU because they ain't got no choice. You know, you do got Coach Mathis, but you got a lot of NFL coaches on the staff. So y'all think about just the on-field coaches. Think about with CU. Think about all the analysts that's there with NFL backgrounds, head coaching experience, coached in the league. Those are different because that's going to carry you longer. Because if you compare Florida State's coaching staff to CU's coach staff, it's night and day. It's not even to compare about, you know. And so when you start breaking things down and what makes sense, I'm gonna go to CU because one, I know I'm gonna get to play early. Two, I'm gonna get the exposure because I'm going to be in the spotlight. No matter what Coach Prime do, win, lose, or draw, he's going to be marketable. He's going to be the headline. There's no like why? You know, this is why people hate Coach Prime now. Is because Coach Prime is in the spotlight and they don't want to see that. Who is the better corner? The better corner to me personally is Cormani, but long term I would take Lester. Right now I'm taking Cormani. Long term I'm taking Lester. So to answer your question, Tremaine, people gotta realize CU was not even in for less than the top five in June. Coach Prime did it all in 1 3. So yes, so that is true. Coach Prime was not in the race, but he always had contact with Lester. And what you guys don't realize is Coach Prime has been in with a lot of these recruits at JSU. It's just now it's all being publicized at Colorado. So Coach Prime had that relationship with Lester before he came to Colorado. Now it's just at a higher level. People are starting to see like what they can gain from the situation, you know. And so, and two, Coach Kelly is a main part of that too, also because Coach Kelly coming from Alabama, he recruited a lot of these kids that Coach Prime is going after. So now you got Coach Prime and Coach Kelly in the room together. Can't say no to that because Coach Kelly got a track record of players that he's put in the NFL on the defensive side, especially in the secondary. So how can you turn that down? And what do you got? What you got to think about? Here's the biggest thing y'all got to think about, right? If Patrick Surtain is the DB coach at Florida State, why did his son go there? Why? His son went to Alabama. Why didn't his son go to Florida State and he coached there? It makes no logical sense, right? So how you gonna ask for a top rated corner to come to Florida State and your top player didn't go? Yes, Stoudemire is a corner. He's gonna be great. He's actually gonna play a lot, but you know, y'all gotta. Those are things that y'all gotta think about. I'm Zion. What I mean by Patrick saying, I know he's only been there for a couple months, but if you sold Florida State, you would have made sure that your son went there, right? So how can you convince a top corner to come there when you convince your son to go to Alabama? You gotta make it make sense now, right? No matter if you was coaching there or not, I guarantee you, if your son if your son would have went to Florida State, I believe Patrick Surtain would have did everything he could to coach his son. I just think that, right? You don't think he had his hands tied into Alabama? Come on now, come on. We gotta make things align. You know, the truth is already out there. It's just we got windshield wipers on and we're blind to what's really going on. And so people are getting caught off guard. So those are the things that, you know, we got to look forward to. people are sleeping on Coach Kelly like he did Coach Hal for the Pro Bowl in the league right now. One of the things that people sleep on about Coach Kelly is the recruitment. Like Coach Kelly won the award for the top recruiter last year. Won the award for for college football. So it's like the man knows the game, right? It's just crazy. I'll tell you right now, all Colorado got to do, go send Coach Brew down there. Coach Brew, coach at Florida State. Go send Coach Brew. Let him talk to CL3. I guarantee you CL3 gonna sign on that dotted line. So right now, there's a 50-50 chance for Leicester. My opinion, my thoughts, looking at the situation right now, he's going to commit to FSU and sign with CU. He's going to break their hearts. It's coming. A big heartbreaker is coming. He will exactly in my mind. He is not going to CSU. I'm glad we received the heads up. Come on, he didn't even put CU in his top 3. Well, you got to think of mine. CU wasn't in the top 3 just because they came into the recruitment late. So he had to make his top 5 without CU because CU came in so late into the process. But what I will say is Coach Prime made up a lot of ground. And anytime you can get a recruit to your campus 2 or more times, that's a benefit in your way. So it is a great thing that he came on a second visit, but the second visit was more about his friends getting offers than it was him going on a secret visit. They just blowed it up because he was the bigger name. But in reality, everything was set up for his friends and the offers that he to help his friends get offers. Yes, the whole time of the season, you would agree, goofy crap with these kids. But what I will say, at the end of the day, these are all kids, right? 17, 18-year-old kids, 19, making decisions, right? And the biggest thing come down to me right now is kids got to take into the fact of where can you develop, where you're going to be able to play for opportunity to get to the next step, right? Because everybody dreams to get to the NFL, but reality, right? Between 94 to 92% of those players won't make it to the league. So how do we fix this? That's the only reason why I said YCU is still in it. He took a photo up there with Sean Lewis on the. Oh yeah. Here's what I say. What up, Sadie? What up, Cheryl? Hey, Miss Angela. What up, JB? Here's what I'll say about that. I think Charles Lester gonna end up playing offense. And I don't think Florida State can give him that opportunity. Will give him the opportunity. Not say he can't. I don't think they're going to give him the opportunity. What everybody is waiting on is to see how they utilize Travis Hunter this year. Because Travis Hunter is going to be the key to the recipe for everybody. And the reason why I'm saying this is because he's going to play both ways, but the way they utilize Travis Hunter offensively, defensively, is going to be the key to some of these top recruits that want to play both sides. Because you got to think about it. Not like you go to Alabama, you go to Georgia, you go to Ohio State, they're not letting you to play both sides of the ball. They're not. And the biggest issue people got right now is Coach Promise allowing this to happen. And what people don't want to happen is they don't want Coach Prime to open up a floodgate because now that's a demand. Well, if you don't allow me to play both sides of the ball, guess what? I'm going to go to Colorado because I know they're going to let me play both sides of the ball. I know that. Florida State, Zion, you can book it. Florida State is not letting him play both sides of the ball. Charles Lester wants to play on both sides of the ball. That's the reason why Colorado jumped so far up in the race and it became a 50-50 race between Florida State because Coach Prime is talking to him like, listen, all you got to do is watch what Travis is finna do. If you don't believe me, if you turn on JSU tape, you see how we use Travis Hunter on both sides of the ball? Oh, we're going to use him on both sides of the ball again, right? But now it's going to be at a higher level. So now you're going to show recruits that, hey, listen, if I really put my work in, I know for a fact that I can play both sides of the ball. Everybody can't go to see you. That's the trick. So you're right, Cheryl. Everybody can go. only 20% is gonna be high school players. So when you're talking about 20%, you really gotta do something to set yourself apart. And so taking taking Leicester is the best thing that happened because you're getting a win-win on both sides. Because if Charles Lester's playing both sides, you got a receiver and a DB. That takes away two positions in one. Instead of I got to recruit a DB and I got to recruit a receiver. Well, I got that in the best of both worlds. Coach Prime is not about to recruit 20 to 25 because he wants. No, so Coach Prime has a plan. It's 40 40. It's 40 40 20. 20% is 20% of the players are going to be freshmen. That doesn't mean that's 20 players. It's 20%. 20% of the players that's coming in is going to be high school players. 40% is going to be transfers, and then 40% is going to be graduate. That's how he's going to do it on recruiting side. So if you don't know, that is how Coach Prime is doing it. It's a 40-40-20 system. It's a great system to have, right? Because if you look at 40% graduates, that means they only got 1 year. So you're always going to keep those roster spots filled with people that got 1 year. Then you got 40% of those transfer players, right? They got 2 to 3 years left, and then 20% high school. Which is a great plan to have because one, you have experience. Two, you got youth and talent that's a mix, and you're not heavily leaning on a big freshman class. So you can't really never expect Colorado to have a top five class just because of the way Coach Prime is recruiting. He can't keep going into the transfer portal though. Gotta build. So that's the part, right? That's why they're being so selective on who they're taking from the high school ranks due to the fact of they're gonna still lean on the transfer portal. If you watch JSU the last couple years, you'll understand where I'm coming from on that Zion. Because think about he had a couple high end freshmen that came in and played. So like last year you had Travis, and then you had my boy from St. Louis who's now at Louisville, that won freshman of the year. Those were the two top right there. And then the rest of the majority of the rest of the people were transfers. So he does. Coach Prime does like the transfer portal. That's one thing. Kevin called me. Yeah, that's my boy. He from St. Louis. So Coach Prime does like to recruit heavily out of the portal. He loves the portal more than he does with freshmen. Just because one, if you can get players out of, and this is just the wave of Colorado football in general. If you can get a player that's been in the program 1 or 2 years, that's better than getting a freshman. Because at some point, you're going to need some experience. Me, I take talent over experience any day, right? I'm going to go after the best of the best. And then if I need to fill a void, I'm going to fill that with the transfer portal. So they're going to build. And right now, the way they're recruiting is just to build depth for next year, right? We're trying to build depth for the Big 12. So just think about that and put that into contents. Wish he would come over to see you. Oh, Kevin Coleman. Um, my real reason why Kevin Coleman didn't come, was just because he wanted to blossom into his own person. Um, and he knew by him coming to see you, all eyes would be on Travis and Jimmy Horn. Because him and Jimmy Horn plays pretty much similar position. So with Jimmy Horn coming to Colorado, they kind of hurt Kevin Coleman coming to Colorado. But that's my boy. I wish him nothing but the best. Hope he kills at Louisville. There's a possibility he could come back to see you. Um, but I definitely like to be honest with you. I definitely wanted Kevin Coleman to come to see you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wanted my boy to come to see you. That St. Louis, swagger. I wanted him to come, but things happen, man. Like people say, man, everybody can't come to see you, right? It's a privilege. It's an honor to play for Coach Prime, but definitely, definitely, definitely. Another thing I wanted to talk about. So we talked about CL3, right? We all know it's a 50-50 opportunity. Um, Big 12. I am so excited about them going to the Big 12. I can't even tell you enough. I am super excited, right? I am ready to see this pipeline from Texas, from Florida, from the Alabamas, the Georgias. I am ready to see everything. Oh, school, what's going on? I am ready to see this super excitement of, man, what this next journey is going to be with the Big 12. Cheryl C, I don't know what actually happened with Kevin Coleman. He's going to go, I think, but then Kevin Coleman's going to. He's at Louisville. If you don't know, Kevin Coleman's at Louisville. I wish he would have came to see you, but it is what it is. But getting back to my Big 12, looking at the teams that's there, you talk about all the Texas teams, right? You got the Baylors, the Texas Techs, the TCUs, Houston, right? Then you go to Kansas, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, BYU, Iowa State, UCF. I hope and pray that they put UCF in Florida next year. And I didn't forget about West Virginia. I just wanted to talk about this UCF. I hope and pray that they put Colorado there next year because it is going to be on. It is going to be on if CU has to play in Florida next year. You can book. It's going to be a wrap. It's going to be a lot of recruits there. And you're going to see some commitments coming out from that game. I am too, not to let you know. Sure you get me. Yes, I know. Yeah, Jeff Brom he's a good coach. I don't blame Kevin Coleman for going there. And the only reason why I don't blame like Kevin Coleman for going to Louisville is just because of the fact that if Jeff Brown throw that ball, he throws it more than he run that ball. So I definitely understand why he made that decision. Just because of going with Sean Lewis and going with CU, there's some unknowns. But I do understand why Kevin Coleman went to go play for Jeff Brown. He throws that ball. Old school. Man, listen, old school. I'm just ready for the assignment of let's just get this first W, right? Let's get TCU out the way. So now it can really go up from there. And I think, having that first game against TCU, it's gonna get really, really dark for everybody outside of CU. Because guess what? You gotta see prime time first game in the first time slot. So you can't say, oh, I missed the game. You can't miss the game. It's the first game of the season, nationally televised. You ain't got nothing to do but watch. We're going to break so many records on that first game for how many people watching that game is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. So I'm super excited about that TCU game. As of right now, I'm not going. So if anybody want to know, I'm not going. I'll be watching it. I will be at the Nebraska game, though. That's for sure. I will be there. I live in Colorado, so I definitely will be at that Nebraska game, getting lit. So I'm ready for it. I've been locked in with CU. I haven't been paying attention to my Packers. But yeah, So I had another topic I wanted to talk about. CL3, Big 12 football. What was my other topic I wanted to talk about? If y'all got any topics y'all want to talk about, put it in the chat. We could definitely talk about it tonight, man. We here. I talk about it because me, no matter what the subject is, no matter what's going on, we gonna talk about it. I ain't gonna be like, man, I know this and I'm gonna do it. No. Let's talk about it. Because I'm telling you right now, some of these other content creators be trying to. Hey, listen, if I got a source and it's a trustable source that I know the information is real, I'm going to come out and tell you what it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for nobody. It is what it is, So I get why, the Florida boys that don't want to talk about CL3, they know the truth. They got them calls, You don't start authoring, changing plans the night before less than 24 hours before he commit. If you don't know something, I got a call, I got a text about some things, but it was more of it's a 50-50, right? And what Florida State's trying to do to get CL3 to commit, blase, blase. But there's a reason why people know. You can't be surprised too, because, oh, man, listen, I love to see all the Florida fans. I love to see all the Florida fans mad. The Miami fans, the Florida State fans, the Florida fans. I love to see them all mad because it just shows how much we're dominating. For you to go, just think about it. If you ever been to a Coach Hayes show and you go on Miami nights, right? They always end up talking about Colorado. Y'all talk. It's a Miami Hurricanes show. Why y'all talking about CU? But you can't stop these fans, man. The people, and the thing that gets me the most, right, is that people so willing to talk about Coach Prime and they want to see him fail and they want to see him only win 3 games. So what happens when he win more than 3 games? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Because he's going to win more than 3 games. Name me a season where Coach Prime had a losing record. Name me one. Coach Prime is used to winning. He's not going to deal with mediocre and losing. He's just not. So you can book it. I heard another Pac-12 team might be jumping to ship. You got any of the ideas? Who? Yes, I do. It's going to be Oregon State. That is the team that will be leaving the Pac-12 to join the Big 12. But they still got to go through the process, right? They still have to go through the process of initiation, getting accepted. Even though Colorado is done, Colorado still has not registered for the Big 12. So keep that in mind. See you still everything is finalized for them to go into the Big 12, but they have not did all the paperwork to start the process of going into the Big 12. But they will be in the Big 12 next year. But the other team from the Pac-12 that's on record, well, I'm not gonna say on record. Close sources say it's going to be Oregon State as the team that's rumored to be leaving, going to the Big 12 with CU. Let me see. His relationship with God will always allow him, will never allow him to fail. Love it. That's so true. His relationship with God won't let him fail. You right about that. I've been telling you, Coach Hayes, his butt hurt because Cormani decommitted from Florida. From Miami. That's why he always talking about CU so much. Man, listen. By the end of the year, Coach Hayes is gonna be a Buff fan. Is he? I don't know if I wouldn't say he's butthurt about Cormani, but he probably is disappointed that Cormani didn't come. At the end of the day, these kids got their own decision. But when you look at why Cormani, came to CU over going to Miami, it made more sense, right? Just think about all the distractions that Cormani had, in Florida that probably could have ruined something going wrong, right? Versus going to CU, what distractions do you really got? You can't do nothing but focus on football in Colorado. In Miami, you got the beach, you got the females, you got all your teammates that just want to go out to the club and just get loose, right? So you start eliminating distractions because now it's not saying that he won't go out and do anything like that in Colorado, but in Boulder, if you've ever been to Boulder, you don't have those sceneries to go do something like that. The probability of you doing something like that is a 5% chance in Boulder, right? Boulder's a great city, but it's not a party city. It's not a party town. So you're not going to be able to do anything that's going to distract you from football. You're solely here to focus on football and the upbringings. So Cormani made the best decision for him to stay focused and help him get to NFL faster. See, you have some great freshmen this year. I'm so impressed. Man, let's talk about that, Cheryl. When you talk about the freshman class, a lot of people are sleeping on this freshman class. All people talk about is Kermani, but we have some unique freshmen that's going to ball, that's going to contribute this season. Carter Stoudemire, defensive back, going to contribute. Caleb Mathis, going to contribute. Amarion, going to contribute. Even like the backup quarterbacks being freshmen, I have no problem with them because they're going to grow. So it's going to happen. They sent the request tonight or first thing tomorrow. Huh? I don't know about that. Oregon's got to do something before it's too late. I think Oregon. So Zion, if you talk about Oregon, I think Oregon is going to try to follow USC and UCLA to the Big Ten. I don't think they're going to try to go to the Big 12. It makes no sense. I think they're going to try to go to the Big Ten because they're chasing the money. It's if you look at the revenue deal for the media, they would make anywhere from 15 to about 30 million more if they go to the Big Ten over the Big 12. So I can see Oregon do that. CL3 wanted to stay in Florida, but he didn't say he wanted to see it. Listen, yes, CL3 want to stay in Florida, but he's ultimately gonna pick Colorado. That's just my opinion on that. He's ultimately gonna pick that. Jay has to keep it real less about Florida State. I'll say this, one of the best benefits of CL3 commitment is how many Florida State guys is on the roster at Colorado. Because they gonna tell you what's really going on, how the coaching staff really is, what they went through every day. That's gonna play a part, big time. Because when you got when you, like you can't lose 4 players and those 4 players all go to the same program and follow each other. It's something behind the truth. Where there's smoke, there's fire, and there's some smoke there. So definitely there's going to be some truth behind it. If Travis gets on the phone with CL3, which I heard he has been, it's going to help Lester make his decision easy, right? Because they're going to tell him like they told everybody, you can focus on football. There's no distractions here. You're going to make it to the league. And guess what? You're going to end up being a top 10 pick. So why not come here, right? If you just stacking up chips, boom, 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 you have no choice but to win because there's competition, right? There ain't no competition at Florida State if you go there. Like, let's just keep it real. Yes, we have to keep it positive. Appreciate what CU has done. If you're listening to what Cam Newton always said about P5s, it's eye-opening. Oh yeah, if you've never watched Cam Newton talk about the P5, I would suggest you go watch that interview. That was a great comment by Cheryl. Coach Prime goes, I'm gonna say Coach Prime. Cam Newton goes into depth, right? Cam Newton should have been playing at Florida. He should have never left Florida. But they were never gonna let him be the man because of Tim Tebow. Right? And you gotta think about it. The coach, Urban Meyer really did not want Cam Newton. He really didn't. He took him because he was a top player, but he really didn't want him. If you ever follow Urban Meyer never went past Central Florida. He never went down south. He just didn't. And that's why Southern players in Florida always hated Florida because of the fact of they had better players down there. But Urban Meyer, if you're too ghetto, if you're too black, he doesn't want you. Cam Newton came from a great parent home, so that's why they took Cam Newton. But once he got to Florida, right, you had Chris Leak there, you had Tim Tebow, you had Cam Newton. Well, Cam Newton was better than both Chris Leaks and Tim Tebow. But why did Tim Tebow start? Let's just keep it real. It's color of the skin, right? They wanted Tim Tebow to be the man, to be the spotlight, to put Florida in its upper echelon, to say this and say that, to make it be that, right? And so they really didn't want black players to be front and center. I just call it what it is. And I ain't afraid to say it. I'm just keeping it real because these are the things that like people don't want to see, right? And that's why so many people hate Coach Prime because it's like the color of his skin, Coach Prime can't get that successful. They don't want him to be that successful. Because if he's that successful, guess what happens? He gets to change the mind of players of the skin tone. That's just what it is. So we got to make sure we're going to knock Colorado off a pedestal. Like, we're going to give them, but at the same time, we got to limit how much success Coach Prime get. Because if Coach Prime get too much success, look out. Because now Coach Prime can go, any top 50 recruit can convince him to come there, that didn't think about Colorado. Because if you look at the landscape, right, USC, Ohio State, Michigan, Alabama, Georgia, what do they have in common? They all led by a white coach. Like, how many, realistic, how many black head coaches can you name in Colorado? How many black coaches can you name that's a head coach in college football? Right? Because here's what happens to black coaches. A black coach can go 6-6 and lose his job, and they can let a white coach go 3-7 and he keep his job. That's just how it is. How many Florida players are on CU? I think we're up to close around 20, between 20 and 25. So, is in the P5 is 15 black head coaches. How many had a stature Coach Prime though? Think about that, Zion. I know the answer. I know the answer, but it's just for dialogue, right? When you look at how many black head coaches, right? Think about the opportunity that black head coaches are getting to the other side, right? And that's what I always play a part, because right now you got to know Florida State is losing their mind because they didn't take a chance on Coach Prime. TCU losing their mind because they didn't take a chance on Coach Prime. Why? Because they didn't want a black person at the helm. We know the reason why, but so many people are afraid to say it. So now with Coach Prime, doing this, now it's helping other black coaches become empowered, right? Like, think about, majority of the black head coaches have to go to a HBCU to get any recognition first. Think what Coach Prime did. He elevated some HBCU coaches that was at other schools that wasn't at JSU and bring them to Colorado. Why did he do that? He did that to elevate, to show that these coaches can really coach and they deserve an opportunity at the P5 level. There's nothing wrong with the Group of 5 level. There's nothing wrong with FCS, but give the same opportunity that's given. And for me, we always think about equal opportunity, but it's really not, right? There should be women on some of these football staffs. I'm talking about coaching, not just in the training room, coaching, right? Set a standard. And that's one of the things that I love about Coach Prime, is that he's going to give you opportunity no matter who you are, what you do. As long as you're a great person, great leader, and a family person, Coach Prime is going to give you opportunity. And you're not doing anything stupid, Coach Prime is going to give you opportunity. And so those are the things that we have to take a look at, when it comes to certain things. But at the end of the day, first game is getting ready to kick off. We getting closer than 30 days. All the players will be back on campus Monday, coming in Tuesday. Wednesday is kicked off. Some people will work out on the first, but the true pass day, where it's helmets, pads, shorts, for the first 3 to 5 days, starts on the second, which is 30 days before kickoff. So you can't really technically be in pass until 30 days before kickoff, which is the second. So go time is here. Hope you guys get excited, because I'm excited. Florida State fired Willie Tiger, who has had better winning records than Mike Noel. Oh, that's true. But you gotta see how tomorrow. Thanks, Robert, man. Oh, anytime, man. I'm gonna go live more often. Just because there's more stuff to talk about. But I had to jump on tonight. The CL3, I had to, keep it real with y'all, man. I had to get on. I thank y'all. Appreciate y'all for supporting. For those who staying on, but for those who leaving, I know it's kind of late, probably there. I'm in Colorado, so it's not really late here. But I do appreciate you guys for y'all support. If you want to leave a donation or anything, it is in the description below. So appreciate you guys. But yeah, Willie Tiger did have a better record than Mike Noel. But also, the thing with Willie Tiger was he didn't surround himself with the right coaching staff to help him grow to and elevate to a different level. That's what I would say with Willie Tiger. Uh, I love Willie Tiger. I wish he would have came to CU, but I'm not mad at him taking an NFL job because that's just exposure, right? Because I feel like Willie Tiger got done wrong though, because I feel like he should been a head coach at a different college right now. I definitely say that. That's one of the things I am upset about is that the way they did him, the way they booted him out, now it's like, why doesn't he get a second opportunity? A lot of these other coaches are getting opportunities that they don't deserve, but Willie Tiger don't deserve that. Come on, man. Like, let's keep it real. So I definitely agree that, Florida State definitely did them wrong. Oh yeah. But but keep in mind, Zion, they always do that with black coaches. They don't never let a black coach live out their contract. They get rid of you like nothing. A white coach, we'll give you 5, 6, 7, 8 chances. But to be honest with you, the reason why you have to support CU, think about the last three head coaches. They all been black. So Colorado's been in this movement to grow the diversity in CU. And if you've never been to CU, it is an all dominant white university. But the diversity now from a year ago is tremendously different. You have a lot of more students enrolling into CU that's more diverse. So when you have that, that's what happened. Hey T, how are you? And black coaches usually don't get this. Yeah, that's what I literally just hinted on. Like Willie Taggart should have another chance at another university, but that's what happens, man. It's like they get that chance, and then when it don't work out, it's like, oh well, you don't deserve another chance, and then they make you go back through the same steps over and over and over again to get back to where you was at, and hope that somebody give you a chance. But everything is really, being honest, is based on relationships, right? Who do you know to know somebody, right? So why did Coach Prime bring all these ex-head coaches? It's easy, right? He bringing all these ex-head coaches to help them get a job at a group of 5 or P5 so then he can elevate somebody else. Because what Coach Prime is trying to do is he's trying to build his tree right now, his coaching tree, and get players to branch out. So anytime somebody goes to somewhere else, that's the reason why that happens. I am well. After you left earlier, I had to go to war in the chat. I'm sorry. I had to jump. I had to jump on. Life in football. We had an interview tonight. So I had to jump on that. That's why. That's the reason why I had to leave Coach Hayes. But you know me, I ain't never worried about them Miami fans on Coach Hayes' show. I'm always with the smoke. Could you image if all the black players went to HBCU and not the white institutions who only these players have talent? The only problem is resources. When you look at HBCU, they don't have the resources. They would get, I honestly, like, if we want to keep it real why Coach Prime left, I don't think Coach Prime wanted to leave JSU. But here's the real reason. They were lying to Coach Prime about the ticket sales. They were lying about the revenue, right? Coach Prime bringing in all this revenue, and JSU wasn't giving him the honest truth back of what really was going on. So that's the problem, right? Because Coach Prime didn't want to leave JSU. JSU forced him out of there just due to the fact of them lying. And another thing right now is going on in JSU. The AD's about to leave. The AD's about to go to Prairie View. He going back to Prairie View. He's leaving JSU to go back to Prairie View due to the fact of the same thing. You know, them not being honest and transparent about the money. That's a huge thing because it's like, if you look at the difference on how they pay, it's a complete difference. They don't they paying assistant coaches 30 to 50K to coach at an HBCU. If you go to a P5, that's 100 to 300 to 500 to 700,000 job. So it's like it's a no-brainer. So when you start looking at the landscape of one, how they paying the coaches, they're not paying the coaches enough at HBCUs. They don't have the resources. The reason why the HBCU don't have the resources is because the government in these states do not fund HBCUs. They fund all the big-time colleges, right? So if you talk about the Mississippi in general, let's just talk about the state of Mississippi, right? Ole Miss and Mississippi State gets all the funding from the state when it comes to university and colleges. JSU don't even see nowhere near close to what they see. Just imagine if they gave JSU the funding that they gave Mississippi, Ole Miss, and Mississippi State. Just think how much different, right? Coach Prime had to go spend money out his pocket to rebuild the facilities and the turf that's on the practice field. Like, why does the head coach have to spend money for you to upgrade, the money out his pocket? So Coach Prime wasn't doing it for the money, clearly. And he got you a deal with Under Armour that you didn't have. So that's even more big time. So, when you start thinking about all these situations that happen at these HBCUs, I wish more black, talented, not just black players, talented black players would go to HBCU because it will open the doors. The problem is the resources. If they can get the resources there, HBCU will grow. If you ever been to an HBCU game, it's very different, very unique from a regular college football game. The band's just different. The atmosphere is just different. It's just a party atmosphere that you want to be at. But the resources hurt HBCUs. And that's why when Coach Prime went there and put the exposure on them, which is what they got now, it helped them grow, but they're still so far behind because of resources. And they're going to get there. Hey, Mr. Lawrence. What's up, Rob the man? I missed Life in Football tonight, so I'm catching up with you. So, yeah, it was another great interview with Life in Football. If you didn't see it, I would definitely, subscribe. It's definitely a great story. So I definitely check that out. That's my boy. Shout out to Life in Football. Shout out to Big Dog Chico. Those are two channels I really rock with the most. I talked to Coach Hayes. I rock with him. Talked to John the Liquidator because we're from the same city, but that's another story for another day. HBCU games have swagger that these white institutions don't. All right, Zion, I'm going to tell you this. You talk about what's going to have swagger. CSU football games are going to have some swagger to it. I'm telling you this right now. The culture shock that's going to happen at CSU football games, it's going to be amazing. There's a lot of things that's about to change, right? First thing Coach Prime did, change the band, got with the band director and the dance team. We got to change this up. We're not doing that no more. This is what I want. You're going to have to learn some new songs. You're going to have to get some brothers, some sisters in here. We don't have to get this changed up because this ain't what it is. Man, listen. What Coach Prime done changed at Colorado, nobody has done. Think about it. The last winning season they had, Mel Tucker was there. And he couldn't change it. But Coach Prime got to change it? You talk about Coach Prime changed academics. He changed the transfer rule that CU had, where you couldn't transfer certain credits to school. They wouldn't transfer, basically make you go through a longer process to graduate. Well, CU changed that. Coach Prime has got the food change. He got the band to change. He got the dance team to change. Like, he's got new uniforms. Like, it's like you guys start to ask your question: what hasn't Coach Prime did? Not what he did. What hasn't he done? Coach Prime has done so much in so little of a time. You know, the meeting rooms, the game rooms, the locker room, adding a bar. Like, it's crazy to think that they didn't have a barbershop at CU. It's crazy to think that the players didn't eat food at CU last year. Like, players didn't want to work out. Players didn't want to lift weights. It is so mind blowing when you talk to some of these players from last year of, I didn't lift weights. I didn't eat the food. Well, now they're eating 4 meals a day at Colorado, taking food home. They're in their weight room. They're challenging each other. Like, what can you say? Be real with you, Rob. That's why I'm not mad if CU doesn't get Lester, because we're gonna be good without him. I'm pleased. Listen, no matter what happens, CU's gonna be fine, right? Like I said, you're not gonna get everybody. Lester is a tremendous piece, but at the end of the day, recruiting is recruiting, right? If you don't get Lester, somebody's gonna say yes. Not everybody's gonna turn down Prime, but there's gonna be a select few that do. I just, in my heart of hearts, think Lester's going to commit to FSU and sign with CU. That's just my heart of hearts. But what if he do commit to Colorado, right? From what I'm hearing from the people that's I've talking to, I do see that. They got a black. Yeah, so that's a good thing. They did get So one of the coaches, one of the grad assistants, right? He got a fraternity back on campus. That's huge, right? Because not only that fraternity being on Colorado, but it's also going to help black students be more involved in the community, right? It was something that needed to happen, and it's shocking that they didn't have a black fraternity. They don't have a black sorority. That's what's gonna come next. Like, they're gonna start a black sorority. You can book it, right? If you can book it, if you got a black fraternity, you're gonna have a black sorority, right? Here's the next change that I see Colorado happening because they go to the Big 12. I end up, I do end up thinking that Colorado end up getting a baseball and softball team. It's crazy to think how Coach Prime is gonna do it, but because Coach Prime played baseball, the money that they're going to generate in from football is going to allow them to have a baseball and softball team. Now, they do have a baseball team. It's just a club team, though. So it's not an official CU team. They were ranked the entire year. They did go to the tournament. But I do think Coach Prime is going to be influenced on Colorado getting a baseball team. But let me know anything you guys want to talk about. I know I've been on my rant, my soapbox going all over the place. If there's anything you guys want to talk about, let's talk about it, yo. That's what we're here for. We're here to talk about Colorado football. I know I got off talking about, baseball and the fraternity and things like that. But if you got anything that you guys want to talk about, just let me know. I'm here for you guys. Probably be for another 10 minutes, and then I'm going to jump off. Just let me know. Oh, question to you guys. What's your record prediction? And how do you see the outcome of the first game? That's my question to the chat. Hey, Miss Jennifer. Oh, you're fine. You're fine. We've been on here for about an hour now. Just getting it in. Just had to jump on, talk about CL3. It's 50-50. So you didn't miss too much. I went on a little soapbox. But if you did, you can always come back, and rewatch it. I'm getting an update. So if I'm looking down, y'all wondering what I'm doing and why I'm not talking, is because I'm getting some updates on CL3 right now. So I might have some little insight. Y'all just be patient. So I'm on live and I'm getting content for you guys at the same exact time. I think CU is going to win against TCU. Oh, definitely. Yeah. They're definitely gonna win against TCU. But what is your score prediction against TCU? I just want to see what people prediction is against TCU. What do you guys think the score is gonna be against TCU? Record 9-2. Okay. 11. I got our record prediction at 9-3. So we run the same ballpark. Okay. Uh oh. Uh oh. Things might be shifting. Uh oh. I'm hearing some good things right now. Hearing some good things on CL3 right now. I can't tell you from who, but it might be looking good. He might be committing. He might be committing. I told y'all I don't hold back information. If I get it and it's from a source that I trust, I will let you know. But I did just get a text. So we shall see. Tomorrow is the big day. I'm still going my prediction of he commits to FSU and Wisconsin, Colorado. But I am getting word right now. So I can't give up my source, but I'm getting some word that he might be committing. He might be committing. Be on the lookout. So he did. He some Florida State fans reached out, and said Florida State fans, Florida State players reached out to CL3, and some Colorado players. I did mention one of the Colorado players that reached out to him earlier, Travis. But there is some other players that is reaching out to Cormani, just to make it interesting. So we might be getting some resolution here soon, just to keep you up. But I think it's gonna be 40-21. That's not bad. I had them win between 14 and 21 points against TCU. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's what I had. So definitely had that going. But yeah, I just got a text, so my sorry, I keep looking down. But I'm on my phone, just got a text saying that CL3 might commit to see you tomorrow. Right now it is still 50-50. So I'm staying with my prediction how I, how I feel, but I got a good text in a good way, in a positive way. So things are looking good right now for Colorado's sake. I think his meeting with Coach Prime from the other day did go good. But once again, that visit wasn't about CL3 being in Colorado. It was about his boys getting scholarships. So Coach Prime like them to be. Man, listen. Coach Prime want to dominate at the end of the day. That's just what it is. Coach Prime want to dominate. He don't care about all this shenanigans, all this. What I will always tell people, if you got something negative to say, and especially about like Coach Prime, don't put it on the internet. Don't put it on social media, because I'm telling you right now, they do keep receipts, and when when it comes to a certain part of the season, they're gonna drop them receipts, and you will be exposed. So keep in mind, if you don't want to be exposed, don't put your name on something that you don't know what you're talking about, or you disagree about something. Because I'm telling you right now, if you don't think that Coach Prime wait until after that first game, Coach Prime wait. He wait. Because as soon as that first game happened and they get that W, you can. I'm telling you right now what this message is gonna be. I'm just envisioning right now what this message is gonna be on Fox Network. I told y'all we coming. I told y'all we coming. So for all y'all naysayers, y'all gonna see. Y'all gonna see. Because it's too much, right? People don't want that narrative to happen. So Coach Prime, he got that speech ready. He ready for that first game to get that out the way. I'm super excited to see what this first speech gonna be for fall practice. I'm ready for Well Off and Reach the People to drop that first speech of fall camp. Tell you right now, it's going to be epic. It's going to be epic. So you can book it. I'm tell you right now, Coach Prime might say something off the wall come Tuesday, but one key word you always gonna think about: dominant. Be dominant. Everything that you do in life, be dominant. Right? Keep the main thing the main thing. And right now, the main thing is football. Focus. Get everything out. That's why Coach Prime gave him this week off. So when they come back, they're focused. Because the message, we coming. Fan base, we coming. So let's get ready. Let's buckle up. Like I said, I was gonna go a couple more minutes, and I'm about to jump off. I just want to say, man, thank you guys for all supporting the channel. Without you guys, this definitely wouldn't be possible. So I do appreciate you guys for tuning into the channel. I hope everybody has a blessed night. I'm so thankful for you guys. I do have other videos. I will be dropping more videos a little bit into more next week as fall camp starts. I do plan on being at some fall camps to give you guys more insight. When I'm at those fall camps, I'm going to try to go live if they allow me to. But if they don't, I definitely have some content for you guys, and I'll go live afterwards. But like I said, thank you guys for tuning in. I really, 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 really appreciate you guys for helping my channel grow. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. If you're not a fan of the channel yet, make sure you like, share, subscribe. And this is Rob the Man Media, baby, and I'm out.